Hello, it's Friday now, the 18th of October, and I took a day off. I said just to kind of roll as I feel. Almost didn't make one today, and still kind of feeling slow as far as am I really feeling like making a video? Well, it's kind of like, well, let me just check in. Let me just give it a shot. A lot of questions. I don't remember all the questions to answer them, but the one that's in my head to respond to, and I don't know if the person will be watching or not, but someone asked me, so what kind of records do I have that would not be in character, or do I have records that would seemingly not be in character for me? Well, I think there was a time a while back where that could have been answered easily, but I kind of insist on being in a position of I like what I like, and so whatever I like is in character. I deleted a question because even if it was serious, it was like, someone asked me how many Smash Mouth records do you have? Well, that would be an answer. It's like, well, Smash Mouth isn't very interesting, even as pop music goes. I like pop music, but that was a pretty generic sound that they have, so no Smash Mouth. I like what I like, and I don't really have anything that I'd be embarrassed to show, When I was younger, my love of Gordon Lightfoot would be ridiculed by some people I know, which I didn't care about because he's a master artist. One group that I do draw the line on is Kiss. I don't have any Kiss records. I have some Kiss memorabilia that's been given to me over the years. Every now and then when I remember and find it, I give it away. Years ago, someone tried to give me a Kiss album saying I needed to have one, and I just got rid of it immediately. It's like, I know what they mean to people, but they're mediocre. I do not like that band, so I don't have anything by them musically. So anything that I like is in character as far as I'm concerned, What do you think? Again, it's a perception. So a person can have a perception about me and say, oh, that's probably not in character, but that's not for them to say because they're not me. So I like what I like. I like all kinds of music, okay? I do. I just don't waste money on junky stuff. I like, for example, I have Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John, but here in the Midwest, you hear so much Elton John, so much Eagles, so much Journey, so much, like I said, this kind of white bread reminder of white privilege type of music. That's the way it sounds to me, and so that's why I say it that way. It's a reminder of who's in charge. There's no reason to have those records in my house. I can't escape that music when I am in the car or in public. That's the best answer I can give, all right? Someone else asked me, and I should be knowing your name by now, but I don't, because you're a watcher, and someone asked me about silver apples. Well, that's kind of a, course. This is my third copy. I bought this when it first came out in 1968. Not first came out, but it was like when it came out, it like died the death, and so it was a cutout like within maybe the first year or two of its release. So I was able to get a cutout copy of the first Silver Apples album like right away for like 57 cents. I dug it right away. However, I don't know, well, I've been through, this is my third copy of it, and I've been lucky to be able to replace my original with another original. Along the way, I had an import copy. I forget which country, I think it was a Dutch pressing, and I don't know what happened to it. This is a landmark album. Electronics and a rhythm. The rhythms got to me right away. because I didn't quite understand what they were doing, even though I was trying to understand electronic music as a kid. I did like it. And I do have Contact, their second album. This is an original as well. Kind of a cool story. I think I'll get it right, which is it there in the Pan Am. The airline trying to do a promotional push or some kind of tie-in with the band and letting them use the cockpit for the picture. Well, the way the band ended up using it really pissed off Pan Am, because on the back we see the band sitting in front of a big crashed plane. Not exactly positive advertising or tie-ins for the brand, is it? I love that. That to me is that's punk rock. You know what I'm saying? To do what they're thinking of artistically over commercial concerns. Yeah, I got Silver Apples. Someone else asked me, and some questions just really just strike me as like it's just kind of a lazy question. So people are saying that they are enjoying seeing my collages. I'm going to show some. And then someone said, well, why have you ever considered using them? Why don't you use them for your record covers? Well, I have. Look up my discography. I've used my collages on several record covers. I haven't, used some of the best because they've been kind of like after the fact. When I did the album Murphy, that was a real slapdash compared to some of the ones I really like. I'm not sure why I decided to use that instead of going into my archive and choosing another one of the other more elaborate ones, but I've used collages for several record covers. But I showed this one the other day, and I just added a little bit to it to complete it. Then, on the back, just all this nature. Here's one where I wasn't real happy with it, and it's still kind of on the low end of it's not one of my favorites, but I added some more to this. It's very busy, but I like that. Here's one, for example. This is the back cover of Dereck Nice, and this is the actual back cover collage, except for that part there that's been released. Here's another one where I added another element to it to try to complete it. And another one. I will share this that I do. Those are possibly for sale, but the prices start at $300 a piece for them, and I've sold several at that price and higher. I've sold some for $150 or so. But one of my collages is made up in a print. That's what I get for not getting ready. This one. This is the cover to Sonospheres. I made a limited edition of 100 copies of this. It sold out immediately. But this particular collage, a local art gallery, Hugo's Art Gallery, collaborated with me, and we had some printed up as limited edition prints. So this is available as a print for $40. See, I didn't even bother to advertise like I could, but this one is available in a limited edition, numbered, and it comes with a certificate of authenticity. So these are available for $40 a piece. But the original here, this would be $300 to $500. And like I said, I've sold several for that price. Yeah. So it's just something I like to have fun with. been in the studio, so I haven't been playing any records. I'm looking down here to see, is there anything at all down here I haven't talked about? There's possibly one. Well, yeah, I pulled these. This is some of the 70s progressive rock related to the band Queen, Morgan, and also to Mott the Hoople. Morgan Fisher, keyboardist who ended up in Mott the Hoople for a while. But he had this band called Morgan, which included Tim Staple, who was in, I think, the band Milk or something like that Brian May was in before it mutated into Queen. And I have this album, and I have their album Morgan Nova Solace. Listen to both of these all the way through. Really like them, particularly the music. Eclectic and progressive, where it just goes all the way from carnival music to taking us a ride into space. And Tim Staple's voice is distinct, and I can kind of hear how Brian May would want to work with the guy. It's a distinct, it's like you remember the voice. And these are good. Progressive rock, keyboard-oriented music, Morgan. I played both of those yesterday. And there was something else that I had not talked about that was, this here. This is something that I got years ago when a library unloaded their vinyl. So I was able to get these for like maybe $1 or maybe 50 cents a piece. But I try to get stuff when I see it cheaply that is on the New World Records label, which I think was started by the Rockefeller Foundation. But what's interesting about it is that it's a cross-section of music, everything from opera to Appalachian music, but it's pretty comprehensive. So this one, which is called Mirage, Avant-Garde, and Third Stream Jazz, the selections on here are very informative. And the write-up on the inside by Gunter Schuller is well worth a read. It's very educational. But the choices on here, from Duke Ellington to Ralph Burns to Charles Mingus to George Russell and Stan Kenton. My dad played with Stan Kenton. But the piece on here, Egged on Heat, is one of the more unusual Stan Kenton compositions. This was a real wonderful educational listen the other day. Excellent. So again, whenever I see something on the New World Records label and it's cheap, I grab it. Okay. I'm going to keep this, I always say I'm going to keep it short. I don't know why I say that. It's just my way, So what's right over here? Yeah, what do you think would be out of character? I don't talk much about rap and hip-hop, but I do have rap and hip-hop records, mainly CDs from the golden era, Pete Rock and, you see, the Fugees, their first stuff. I've got stuff. I've got a little of everything. I've got blues. I've got stuff by John Lee Hooker, Muddy Waters. I do. I've got it all, so I don't know. So what did I pull? Well, this is an album that I'm on. This is part of my discography. It's a split LP by the artist Velvet Glacier and Abe Undent. A-B-E Undent, just like you say it. And this is out of Iowa City. Soundworks. That's the best way to put it. Neat embossed cover. I'm on the Abe Undent side, where some improvisations that I had made with this guy Jay Schleit years ago, he incorporates part of them on the record. So it took me a while listening to this to identify myself on the record, which I like, And this is one of those records where all the records are different. Um, record pressing plants like United will give you an option of colored vinyl, but it's like you get the end of the run. So it's like whatever colors are left over, you can have that, and it'll be a crapshoot what it is, but you get it at a discount. So all of these, I don't know how many of these he made, they're all a different color. He let me choose my color. So that's Velvet Glacier, the record that I'm on. It's there. What's next? V Effect. This record I associate with the Canterbury School. It's got some of those folks. Dave Newhouse of the Muffins and Manna Mirage has played with these folks in concert and knows them. Haven't played this for a while. Martin BC is the engineer who's worked with Bill Laswell. There are some, it says right here, bits of guitar at crucial moments by Fred Frith. So there's a definite connection there. Haven't played this in a while, but I know I like it. Stop Those Songs, V Effect. It's in that wheelhouse of Skeleton Crew, the music of Fred Frith, the Canterbury School. This is good. Or Rock in Opposition. When I say that term, if you know that term, then you know what I'm talking about. V Effect. This is going to get played. Next one, amazing artists, both of these. Caetano Veloso and Chico Buarque. Juntos e Avo Vivo. I believe this is a live recording. Of the two people, I'm more familiar with Caetano Veloso, whose voice and writing I just love. I've said it many times, I don't need to understand the language to feel the music, and I can really feel Caetano's singing. A lot of it is very sensual, but I sense something deeper than just sex in the sensuality, something very human about the way he sings. Something about wanting to connect one human to the other beyond just the sex thing. So this is what I pulled today. Caetano Veloso, Chico Buarque. Fantastic. I'm going to just stop it right here, folks. Last thing I will say is I have heard from more folks kind of giving me feedback regarding some of my comments regarding racism in the Midwest. I'm just going to tamp down again and say, you know, I know what I'm saying is real, and someone was saying, well, what about if the shoe was on the other foot? Unfortunately, because of the way things are, when it comes to racism and the classic definition of it, which is look it up. Black people don't have that opportunity in America to put the shoe on the other foot. We don't have dominance. And the way that the local culture here reminds me of that is what I was talking about, and will say again. It's like it's real clear to me that I live in a red state, and it's like a psychological thing that keeps us stuck in this frame, you know, where it's a reminder. Billy Joel, Eagles, you know, it's like there's no reason why that music is being shoved down our throats anymore, except that someone who is in charge wants it that way. But it's not a reflection of reality, and it's not a reflection of the actual community that I live in. I know there's stations where I can hear soul, and there's stations where I can hear Mexican music, and there's stations where I can hear hip-hop. But it's a shame that the mainstream stations, the big ones, and I know what I'm talking about, Clear Channel, that the white dominance is there, you know, and that on those stations, you know, I know what I'm talking about, you know, and it's not, the shoe is never on the other foot. The foot is always on the neck of brown people around here. I know what I'm talking about. It ain't simply about whether or not they play certain artists. It's about the psychology of the Midwest and how not only my city but my state, the way it treats communities of color, double standards. It's real, you know. It's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking stupid stuff. So that's why I will say things like this when I get feedback where it's like, I didn't say something stupid. I know what I'm talking about. I do. You know, things won't change the way I want them to, but I'm not going to be quiet about what I see. I will continue to share my thoughts. Namaste.